Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. This is the Bravado Greenwood Cruiser, and I'm about to find out if it'll off-road. This is our third, fourth, fifth, I don't know. Lots of weeks of, actually it'd be the fifth because we've done 10 cars in this video. So yeah, 5th weeks of Bottom Dollar Bounties season of Will It Off-Road. It's going by quick because, man, they're just dropping the drip feed like crazy. In the top left, we have Commander Hobo's view because, as we've established, Commander Hobo lives in the top left-hand corner of my field of view at all times. And in the top right, we have British Brandon, aka Raven, and the 93,000 other names that he is known by. So, I was really looking forward to this week's Will It Off-Road. Both of the vehicles, you know, kind of a retro feel. You know, this thing from like the 70s, early 70s probably. I could be wrong on that. Maybe late 70s, early 80s. And then the next vehicle, of course, from the very late 70s on into the 80s. But just some fun vehicles overall. And a lot of character because they both have, as you can see on this one, a nice retro livery. The stop panel on the hood, which is kind of a Michigan State Police thing, even though I didn't paint it blue, but whatever. And the old school lights, and just, you know, they really nailed the vintage look on these older police cars. You know, a lot of the newer police models, or police vehicle models, have a lot of the same things, a bunch of radar units and the same lights and the same bull bars and all that. But on these older ones, we've got some cooler stuff. And of course, being based on muscle cars, we could have some potential for some interesting performance. You know, muscle cars don't do the best up the mountain for obvious reasons. You know, they don't have the best grip. They tend to not be able to get their power down, what power they do have, even the really fast ones. It's pretty rare that a muscle car can just rocket up the mountain without issue. But of course, these are in the emergency class, which means for the most part, and I haven't checked both of these cars that we're doing today, but typically the emergency variants will have just a teeny bit more engine power when fully upgraded, and slightly better acceleration, though usually like the same top speed and things like that. So, you know, I think that's really just countering the wheelie. I don't really know why it's that way. Maybe it's just to differentiate the cars a little bit. But the Greenwood does struggle a bit to keep its power down. The Greenwood's not slow like in a straight line at all. It can really put on some speed. But it struggles up the mountain just because it has a hard time. And that grip comes into play here. It couldn't hold it going up the side. And then if you look, my wheels are off the ground because the bumper caught that rock. So this cost a lot of time, and you know, that's the nature of the car. That long overhang in the back and its lack of grip caused that situation. But we are up 3 minutes, 1 second. So will it off-road? I mean, yeah, it made it to the top, but you know, anything over 3 minutes is kind of a, you probably don't want to take this police car off-roading type thing, but at least it got there. I was surprised we only had one other police vehicle with us. For whatever reason, Raven decided to get the Vamos out, which is brave. I mean, that thing goes wherever it wants when it hits a bump, and this is just one big giant continuous bump that we're on here. That's a good name for a mountain. It's a really large bump. Anyways, yeah, it was a brave choice on his part, and you can see he's already suffering the worst for it. So let's talk about stats. The Greenwood Cruiser, out of 437 vehicles as of this video, is 213th. Yeah, turn those videos off. It is 0.35 seconds slower than the Bastia GTS, and 0.4 of a second faster than an FMJ, so surrounded by a sports car and a supercar, so not too bad. Out of the dozen emergency vehicles that we've tested so far, we'll move on to the 13th in just a few minutes, it is 5th. It is 14.4 seconds slower than the Stanier LE Cruiser, the police car that we can buy and upgrade. It is 13.27 seconds faster than a stock police cruiser, which is, again, the senior model, but like the one you can steal. Like, oh, poor Raven. I just looked up to see that he's literally in a tree. But yeah, the one you can steal. Like, I think I stole one from the Paleto Bay police station just down the road when we tested it years ago. But of course, that has no performance upgrades whatsoever. So you can't really expect much. Well, Raven really is struggling. And then in Bottom Dollar Bounties, as of this vehicle, we've tested 9, and it is dead last, 9th. 12.83 seconds slower than the Euros X32. But again, you know, it's kind of an older vehicle as far as, you know, lore. Did Raven finally get that Vamos? Why did you take Vamos on the mountain? I still don't understand. I don't know, I guess he was like muscle car and wanted to be in the same vintage, but ooh, two-wheel action on my part. But yeah, he is struggling for it. Of course, Hobo is struggling a little bit with that bouncy Dorado. So, man, I look away for 2 seconds and Raven's back on his roof again. Ooh, we're not going to be waiting for his jump, are we? We are down for our controlled descent. 2 minutes, 32 seconds. Hobo gets a lovely jump in there. Yeah, we're not waiting. We didn't wait on Raven. An evening, a nice sunset. Jump again off the side of the mountain for our damage descent. Figure since it's a nice bright white car, it won't be that big of a deal. You'll be able to see it fairly easy, even if you are on mobile. So I went for it. And yeah, it gets banged up pretty good. Of course, I do too. You can see that last hit just took a lot of health from me. And I thought I was going to get stuck here because I couldn't keep my back wheels in the ground, but everybody else tumbling down the mountain managed to take me out. Which can happen. That's allowed. I'm not allowed like any intentional help in World Offroad, but like on the damage descent, if somebody accidentally hits me, that's fine. That doesn't skew the results in my opinion at all. I love that those 2 emergency lights are just hanging on while nearly every other light in the vehicle has given up. Well, not given up, been destroyed. But I don't know if we're going to take enough of a hit to get rid of the emergency lights or not. And you probably need to go on our roof at some point to do that. So far, it's surprisingly doing quite well at staying on its wheels. Yeah, it's just, it almost looks like the one on the right is broken, but it's still lighting up. Like, I don't know, that quick little view just then, it kind of looked like the glass was broken. So, I don't know. Maybe it's another one of those things like the phantom lights on some of the light bars on the older or the more recent police vehicles. No way was I going to get over the wood pile. This thing just can't pile on the speed. But we're down for our damage descent. 1 minute, 41 seconds. So let's take a look at the damage on the Greenwood Cruiser. After we let everybody get up. I keep forgetting that I do this now. And so there we go. The right side windows are gone. Most of the lights are missing. The hood and the rear bumper have fallen off. The doors of the trunk won't close. It has bent wheels and very minor body damage, not extensive. Of course, there are our support vehicles. I guess Rocket lost his somewhere up the mountain. And there they are from the back. And that's going to bring us to our next vehicle. The Vapid Dominator FX Interceptor Rockstar. Stop with the long names. They don't fit in my spreadsheet. I keep having to make the cells in my spreadsheet wider and wider and wider. Oy. So I also have a spreadsheet not only for World Offroad, which you can find the link to in the description down below, but I also have my entire car collection in GTA in a spreadsheet. I know, I'm weird. I like spreadsheets, okay? And I like video games, so I have spreadsheets about my video games. Leave me alone. Yeah, so, wow, there wasn't even a crowd sitting there. The Dominator still tried to spin out and go off the road. That's impressive. That'll happen a few times. That's going to be kind of the major theme of the Dominator FX, is that the back end's going to really be a liability. However, Fox Body in GTA Online, finally. The rusted remains of the Uranus have been in the game since the game launched. That was a great car. Well, not a really great. But it was a great car in previous franchises because it was the Fox body, even if they went with like the Mercury Capri instead of the Ford Mustang. That's fine, whatever. At least it was a Fox body. And now we have one. And I really like it. I mean, it may not be the nicest to drive off-road, but I like the looks, and I'm kind of looking forward to having the civilian version as well. Though, kudos to Raven up there in the top right-hand corner. I mean, even though it has the wee-woo rear lights and sirens and the stack on the center dashboard, he did a really good job of making that thing look like the civilian version of the Dominator FX. So it's pretty impressive. By the way, you can hear our conversation if you're wondering, you know, what were these guys up to? What were they thinking at the time of the recording? Well, you can hear all that in the supporters only version of Vapid Offroad and all of our community videos for that matter, in what I call the behind the scenes edition, which is ad free, less edited, so you can see outtakes and shenanigans. And you can view that by being a channel supporter. There is more information on supporting the channel in the description down below, so you can check all that out. And while you're down there, make sure you hit up the Vapid Offroad Bingo, and you just click that link there, generate a new card, and then when things happen in the video that's on your card, you click them, and if you get a bingo, you'll be our 6th ever winner. So the Dominator, once again, based on a muscle car, so it's kind of the same thing as we talked about with the Greenwood. It struggles a bit. You can actually hear the engine bouncing off the rev limiter a lot more often in this car, just because of the note of the engine. And it just, the back wheels just want to spin. It just doesn't have quite enough grip in those tires to really put the power down to get up in the dirt. On dry pavement, it's phenomenal to drive, but here in the dirt, it does struggle just a little bit. But we are to the top of the mountain, 2 minutes, 50 seconds. So, will it off-road? Yeah, sure. I liked that cloud of dust that kind of enveloped the front end as I stopped just a minute ago. Go back, watch it. It was cool. So, we will take it now for a controlled descent. Once again, why does their front ends look a little different than mine? I don't know. Maybe it's just the distance I was looking at. Yeah, prepare for checkpoints in Northeast. I think Hobo wound up picking up like 1 right before the damage was hit, so he won the event. It's kind of nice. Also, it helps me check to see that, hey, the video is, you know, still in sync for the most part. It's impossible to keep it perfectly in sync, but it's looking pretty good. So, controlled descent. Wasn't too really worried all that much about this, other than keeping the back end in the back instead of having it come around in corners and things. That was really the biggest challenge, that and the bushes. The freaking bushes, man, they love to stop this car dead in its tracks. But while we're going on the controlled descent, let's talk stats. Out of 437 vehicles, it is 147th. It is 0.01 seconds, so just under 0.2 of a second slower than the Jester race car. It is tied with the Turismo R, which is kind of impressive. So in good company there, even if it's not in, you know, the top 100. Out of the 13 emergency vehicles we have tested, this is now 5th. It is exactly 3 seconds slower than the Senior LE. Oh, I love that slide into the hiker. That was nice. But 3 seconds slower than the Senior LE. It is 11.47 seconds faster than the car we just tested, the Greenwood Cruiser. And in Bottom Dollar Bounties, out of 10 vehicles that we've tested now, it is 9th. It is 1.37 seconds. That might be a 2. I think it's a 7. Slower than the Euro 632. Yeah, I can't read my own writing sometimes. And then that same split to the Greenwood Cruiser. So all in, not too bad. And nothing. There's no good segue there. I just want to say we'd love to have you come hang out with us on the Vainglorious Discord server, where we have tons of different channels for tons of different games. We have people from every platform. And just about 300 really chill people that, you know, drama-free, which is rare for Discord servers. Yeah, a little on the quiet. What's the city count doing here? A little on the quiet side some days, but, you know, it's better than trying to manage one where 10 seconds goes by and you have no idea what the conversation's about anymore. But come hang out with us, and if you are on the Discord and you're playing the game we play on the platform we play it, you can join us for community videos such as Will It Off-Road and our community streams as well. We're down in 2 minutes, 42 seconds. We actually get to see both jumps this time. Lovely jump from Hobo. Oh, and Raven landing it on the side of a hill. Well done. Well done. Yeah, Hobo collected 1 checkpoint. I love it. So he will take home the big cash prize, which is probably like, what, $7,500 for that free mode event? We don't see free mode events. Ooh, my wish is correct there. We don't see free mode events too much when we're doing Will It Off-Road, it seems like. Business battles more than anything. Every once in a while at King of the Castle. And if there's a criminal damage, we usually stop and do criminal damage, because I love criminal damage. You just get to blow stuff up for, what, 5 minutes with no wanted level? It's fantastic. Well, who wouldn't love criminal damage? But, speaking of damage, Dominator just shedding body parts. Almost as if on cue the back deck lid came off. So, kind of nice. But the doors are, you know, just one by one saying goodbye. The different panels of the car are checking out. I don't know if the fenders can come off of this car. Just kind of looking at it, it doesn't look like they could. I don't know. I'm kind of trying to watch Hobos and Ravens as well. No, they can. Okay, yeah, Ravens is missing a fender, so I guess the fenders can come off on this. Wow, you could really shed a lot of body panels from this thing. Make it almost unrecognizable. Oh, is Hobo stuck in the tree? Yes. Hobo stuck in the tree. Oops. I shouldn't laugh. I've been stuck in trees many, many times. But it is freaking funny. Is he going to get free? Is he going to make it out? I don't know. Oh, yeah, look at him go. He's physicsing. Oh, he has help. I see. I didn't realize Raven had helped him. Hey, look at me over the woodpile. We were distracted looking at the top. Didn't realize we were down in 1 minute, 37 seconds. So, we'll take a look at the damage on the Dominator FX Interceptor. All the windows and most of the lights are gone. The hood, the front bumper, and the doors and the trunk are all missing. And it has bent wheels and moderate body damage. Enough that it's, you know, deforming some of the panels on there. And of course, there's our 2 Dominator FX Interceptor support vehicles. Raven's looking really rough. And that's going to do it for this week's Will It Off-Road. We'll be back with probably G-Fred next week, and then the week after that, more Will It Off-Road with the 2 Impaler police cars, but maybe the Castigator is instead on one of those. Don't know, because it just came out. We'll have to see what comes out between now and then. But I want to thank you very much for watching today. There's tens of millions of things you can watch on YouTube, and you chose my videos, and I greatly appreciate that. Until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.